I'm Jody Seeley. Yes, still hanging out at Tim Hortons because this is the place to be this morning to get your smile cookies. And we've been talking this morning a lot about the fact that the money raised from these cookies is going to neonatal intensive care units throughout our region. And I've ran into one of our great moms of High River. Cheryl Bruneski is here. And Cheryl, your son Tristan was one that went through a neonatal unit. Now, how many days was he there?
81 days.
That's a long time. That's really crazy. And when there's a fundraiser like this going on, what does it mean to you as a mom whose son is here today because of that? What does that mean to you?
It's very touching. I still tear up whenever I come through Tim Hortons on a day like today. It's absolutely amazing what the NICU team can do. My son was tiny, absolutely miniature tiny little guy, and they saved him. And they loved him. And they were the mom when I wasn't allowed to be there. It was fantastic.
Now, was he really early? Why was he so small?
He was born 27 weeks. So that's 13 weeks early. Came out of nowhere. Didn't even know he was going to pop out. And he did. And the next thing we knew, we were at Foothills Hospital. And that was our home for 3 months.
Now, you've brought some pictures today and kind of some, I don't know if it would be a way to just measure, because when you say, he's tiny, you don't really understand how tiny that was, but he was like in the palm of your hand kind of tiny.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing that we have is during the Olympics in 2006, they had these little beer bottle jerseys, and it actually fit on him. That's how tiny he was.
It's unbelievable to imagine. And I think if saying to people today, spending $1 to buy a cookie doesn't seem like a lot, but at the end of the day, this goes to something and can save somebody's life, which is unbelievable.
It does. It actually saves their lives. All the equipment that they need, all the nurses, all the special help that they get, all those things go to a little precious baby.
And how old is Tristan now?
He's 8.
And running around High River like a crazy man, I'm sure.
Yep, playing lacrosse, having fun, tons of energy. He has hearing aids, but besides from that, you'd never know. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, on behalf of Cheryl and every other mom who has had their child go through a neonatal unit, we would invite you to come and join us today. They're only selling the Smile Cookies until the end of this weekend, but we kind of have a little bit of a goal on SunCountry today where we'd like to sell as many as we can by noon. So if you would like to come in and join us and have a little bit of fun, I have now handed over my apron to Stephanie Hoff, and we're going to check in with her in just a few minutes, and I will we'll see if she can make smiles as good as I can make smiles on the Smile Cookies. We'll have a little competition. I don't know, maybe we'll have a race. We'll see how it goes. But we're having fun, and we've got Smile Cookies for you. Come and see us at the Tim Hortons in High River. Cheryl, thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks, Jody.
And then I'm joined by another fantabulous mom of High River. Krista Rowland Collins is here. And Krista, your daughter Adele went through a neonatal unit as well. Tell us Adele's story.
Adele, we were diagnosed at 15 weeks pregnant with Adele, that she has Down syndrome, and she came at 35 weeks, so she was a few weeks early. She spent 6 weeks at the Rocky View NICU. They were unbelievably fantastic. There was so much love. Nurses took extra shifts just so they could but take care of Adele. They would request they'd call in earlier hours before if they could have Adele as one of their patients. It was a hard time. It was a difficult time, leaving your baby at 10 o'clock at night and kissing her goodbye, but she was left in such great hands. It was a great experience for us. I just went back there actually on Tuesday and dropped off 24 Smile Cookies for them and thanked them all again for everything that they did for the family.
So when it's a day like today where people are buying cookies for $1, or even this whole week where we're sort of sharing in that and raising money, what does it mean and how does that feel as a mom who's had to use this before?
Before Adele, I wouldn't have really thought too much about it. I used to buy Smile Cookies. I'd hand them out. Now, since Adele, it means a lot to our family. And any time that we can participate in activities like this and different projects, we're all in. It's so important that people go out, support the NICU. They need the equipment. They need more nurses. They need raises. So absolutely, great project.
Now, you saw firsthand, being there for 6 weeks, the difference that raising extra funds could do for a unit in any hospital.
Yes, and I look at that they need the incubators, they need the equipment, they need to keep our little babies alive. There were babies in there who were 24 weeks, so just viable. And Adele needed she needed equipment too. She needed oxygen. She needed the NG tubes. So she needed the extra assistance. So that's why it's so important to go out on days like today, spend the dollar, buy some cookies, buy them for the office, because it helps to keep our little ones alive.
Now, how old is Adele now?
Adele is almost 14 months. She's doing great. No more oxygen, no more. Feeding tube came out the night before we brought her home. The nurses whispered in her ear and said, "We want to take this out, so you need to eat for mom." And she did. We took the feeding tube out, and she ate, and she's healthy now. And we have a project. It's called Adele's Over the Rainbow Baskets. So we make baskets for little ones who are born with Down syndrome, and we take them to all of the hospitals in Calgary.
Awesome. So she's already given back to the community, too, at 14 months old. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she is. She's making a huge difference in the world.
Oh, and she will continue to do so. She's gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you, Jody.
All right, come down and join us.